picks are absolutely through the roof. We said ManCloud had 12 unique picks last game. Voidboy right now has 13. His champion pool is one of the biggest for professional play here in the NALCS. And with the bans going very fast, we still obviously see Pantheon being focused at for Curse. That Kha'Zix will not be played this time, but LeBlanc is alive.
Yeah, LeBlanc is alive. And it always looks like Quas is just waking up.
And you got to consider how much Elise has not been played today.
Yeah, so the Elise nerfs, actually, she's still a really good jungler. It was an interesting change to her. They definitely took a lot of power out of her. She's not the top anymore.
Right.
But the fact that her cocoon does scale into late game is an interesting little twist, because now she actually has that added CC towards the end game where it goes all the way up to 2 seconds. Whew. And it's a very powerful tool for pick compositions. If you get anybody with one of those, you should have enough damage to kill them, especially if you're going first pick LeBlanc.
Cloud9 going with the insta-lock strategy. As soon as they get a chance to pick, they lock down Renekton and Eve. We've seen Meteos just being a menace on Kha'Zix and Eve lately.
How many times have we seen them instantly pick Renekton first pick? As far as I can remember, like I don't understand why nobody's trying to attack Ball's champion pool at all. I guess they've pretty much resigned themselves to the fact that he's extremely strong in the top lane, and we'll just give him whatever he wants anyway, because he'll perform very well on whatever he does get.
And I actually have to retract that last statement from watching Meteos solo queue. He has not played Eve in the LCS. Actually. So this will be his first time playing it on the stage in the spring split.
Yeah, he's no stranger. He'll probably build it very similar. Pretty much everybody goes Lizard, Elder, Hex Drinker, then full tank. So it'll be an interesting transition to see. A lot of the early game is about can you take advantage of your high damage for the early game and catch people off position, because you can get around wards. Meteos is a very big fan of warding deep in the enemy jungle and counter jungling a lot. Evelynn is perfect for that, because you cannot counter that. You're going to have to lose pink wards if you want to set up pink wards on all your entrances. Then it's going to be a lot of invested money. So we'll see what kind of early vision that Meteos can actually get. Dominate is going to be trying to do the same thing, by the way, sticking those green wards by the camps. You always want to do that against Evelynn. Green wards in camps, and then pink wards at your defensive entrances, where you can defend the pink wards.
Yep, he does lock in Elise for himself as well. We see Quaz going with Trundle. Thinking back to Super Week, he played that guy 4 times in a row, matching his times of Mundo played on the season, so he brings it into a 5th one. He's 3-1 on it, and we have seen him. Stays in that top lane, goes for the attack speed build if he can, and he wreaks havoc on your turret.
Yeah, and he's a fairly good answer to Mundo. That being one of Quas's favorite champions now is probably why they leave Renekton up for Balls, because they're sure that he's going to pick it, and they're happy to take that Trundle into it. So we'll have to see how he can actually execute that matchup, though, because Balls is, he's touted as pretty much the best Renekton player of North America.
The Morgana pulled out today by Lemon Nation. We've been seeing too much of that either. Looks like Cloud9 is going to start putting in their picks that they want. Does not seem to be hindered whatsoever by what Curse has brought to the table, but it is going to be a Karma pickup coming in for Bunny Fufu. He has been very engage heavy on Leona and Thresh, so this will be interesting to provide that engage utility for the team now.
This team for Curse is looking pretty good right now. They've got a lot of poke that they can execute at turrets. Karma poke under turrets. LeBlanc can actually do it as well. She can get a lot of good harass under there. And then, as we talked about, the new Cocoon from Elise, late game, the stun lasts for a full 2 seconds there. They can, if they land one of those, then they can catch somebody pretty easily. So definitely vision control will be paramount this game for Team Curse. Yeah, solo Soraka. Do it.
And have quite a bit of AP on the team if they locked it in, but it'll never hurt anybody too much. Oh, they lock it in.
All right, so
let's talk.
Soraka solo lane is pretty big in Challenger at the moment. There are a couple of solo lane Sorakas.
He is just smiling.
Some of them mid and some of them top. So we'll have to see how high can execute this, because Soraka's vulnerability is that she will be pushing you. So you know she's going to be far up in her lane, because Starcall is going to do damage to all the minions while you're trying to get damage onto the champion as well. It's going to be up to Dominate here. Can they actually make use of the fact that they know Soraka's going to be pushing? The problem with Cloud9 usually is, though, that all their lanes are pushing. And they've got Renekton, so he's going to be pushing as well. Always.
I feel like that pick was kind of just like, do you guys mind? Because you see Meteos smile, and then Lemon smiled, so I think...
I's checking first. You guys cool?
Can I? Is it all right? Please, Mom? All right, cool. So as the teams take to the Rift, let's check who you are predicting to win the game. According to LOL Esports, even with the Soraka pick, 80% of you think Cloud9 is going to come out on top.
What do you mean, even with the Soraka pick? That's like it's a detriment. It's actually a strong lane.
It is a super strong lane. I like to make the joke.
Yeah, exactly. As I was talking, though, it plays into Cloud9's aggressive early style so well. When you're pushing with just one lane shoved up early game, it's not a good thing for your team because that's going to be an exposed point. But Cloud9, pretty much always, they go for early game winning lanes, and they're all going to be pushing. Renekton's going to be trying to shove. Same thing with the others. So it's pretty much going to be the same old story for Cloud9. Meteos, when all your lanes are shoving, he can get that deep vision into the jungle that we talked about. He can try and find Dominate at a camp. Usually you're like, oh, you don't want to fight Elise 1v1. But with the nerfs and with Elise, with Evelyn's vision advantage, if you find Elise at a camp, then she can definitely have the advantage in that 1v1.
Everybody's ready for this matchup, and with that Spell Thieves, we actually see the Vision Wards coming out for Lemon Nation and Bunny Fufu. See what these guys have and how they can control that bottom lane. See what they going for the start. Ooh, gonna Void Boy here. He's gonna be on that LeBlanc. We'll see if he can crush out high in the mid lane. You gotta remember, back. Dignitas was the one to be bringing out the Lulu and the Soraka and trying to push every lane, get a heavy AP team going down. We'll see
now,
she still works the same.
Yeah, well, Soraka definitely works the same.
Yeah.
She Star Call spams. We'll have to see how well he can use the silence, too. It's very good at interrupting LeBlanc's combo. LeBlanc is all about very, very quick spell casts. So if he can actually get in the middle of Void Boy's combo and interrupt him, it will completely throw off Void Boy's game. I also really like how all the supports are starting with one real ward now. So we do get a little bit more vision play back. Uh-oh. It's time to fight. Round one.
Very close now. Only 5 yards
this is like
separated.
Middle school playground. Do you hear this? They've got a ward here. Cloud9 got that ward in there early. So if anybody takes one step out of that bush.
It's the Dark Binding.
Oh, they're pinging the bush too. Both teams. Oh, they dodged it though. So they got no noise. There was no sound here.
The peace has been broken, but no damage has been done just yet. Patiently waiting on either side of the brush.
Oh, yes. Oh, it's going to happen now.
Oh, it's going to... The Dark Binding goes all the way to the back. A 5v5 level 1 ensues here. Curse and Cloud9 are going at each other's throats. The Star Call is doing the max amount of damage at level 1 for Soraka, and it's going to be first blood for Sneaky. Second blood going over for Balls. The Dark Binding just missing on the tail side of Dominate, and it looks like Cloud9 gains ground in the early game.
So Star Call is a beastly spell for level 1 fights here. Dominate doesn't want to give up though. He's got vision. Can he smite it? Oh, Meteos on target, and he actually smites it away.
I'm loving the level 1s.
Now, we always talk about, oh yeah, it was 50-50 smites. That was actually 50-50. All right, so the binding there, it landed on a person in the back, but since Hai can charge in with the barrier Soraka, he gets Star Call on everyone, and it is a massive, massive lead for your team in level 1 fights. That thing stacking up just helps so much, and then Cop right there, forced to burn his flash to dodge the extra binding from Lemon Nation. Yes.
Woo. Not the first time we saw it happen. Europe had this little foray the other day, duo mid. We'll see if Void Boy can hold this off. Still level 1. This is going to be a very tough lane with call for help from Dominate as much as possible if they can't get the rotate in.
Interesting. They're opting to go with Soraka 2 versus 1. Level 2 gank, unexpected, but he has no red buff slow, so it's going to be up to the stun from Balls, and he has no slice and dice, still level 2 here.
And not hit it. There's level 3 for Meteos, but he's taking some minion damage.
Ill-advised.
Quas says, let's do it.
Ill-advised gank right there. Quas definitely comes out the victor.
Like, boom, I'm Quas. That's how it happens. 500 gold in the lead. Lemon Nation and Sneaky looking to put a little bit of damage on the turret now. Lemon Nation damage on the turret. He's poking out Void Boy. They got a little synergy going on.
That's a great point. So, I love Spell Thieves in 2 versus 1 swaps because it actually applies on turrets. You get so much extra damage and money just being able to hit the turret. You don't even have to get those champion hits in. Lemon Nation, he can destroy the turret and get the max value out of his gold generating items. So very, very good situation for both supports, starting with that item.
See a really great Fog of War game being played in that mid as well. Sneaky's kind of keeping the lane pushed to middle now, and it's just Lemon Nation throwing those darts.
Will he run into Elise though? Because if he did, then it would be hard. But Dominate actually taking the long route.
This is funny because Cloud9 will usually have High rotate to the top lane as well, so they're kind of keeping with what they usually do, just with different roles.
Yeah, Lemon wasting a whole bunch of time here. And he's not going to be... He wants to get back in time to be able to use his procs on the turret. So as soon as that does get up to the... Oh, no, he's going back for the gank. 3 versus 3 up top.
Just wants to take
another rumble.
Let's see what happens. He's coming in slow. Void Boy taking damage, so he will not be assisting on this. And great Q coming out from Bunny Fufu on the Mantra. Able to slow, get a little bit extra.
Yeah, so 3 versus 3 situations. The team with Caitlyn at level 3 is definitely going to have the massive advantage. So even though Cloud9 rotate all these resources up top, it's still pretty much cop with the advantage here. And Bunny Fufu even able to harass under turret. Little roam here from Dominate.
Sneaky.
All by his lonesome. Oh, wow, he just takes it.
All right, he played the timing there. He figured Void Boy may go for the chain first. Very lucky on that timing, though. Got himself to safety. A little bit of a gold lead in favor of Cloud9, but Sneaky now has to play this careful. Roam by Lemon Nation didn't exactly work for them, and that's not something you see from Cloud9. Usually everything hits for them.
Interesting. Yeah, Lemon Nation does make his way back, though, in time. They shove out High at the... or Void Boy at the same time, too. So if they can push this one up to the turret, they can get a decent amount of damage.
Medio spending time in the top
Barrier
lane.
is back up for High.
Oh, they see him. Cop takes a turret shot as well. And a nice instant tether from Bunny Fufu. Keeping on point with that at Lemon Nation on the roam again.
Yeah, I think that was sort of a half-hearted gank. They're really waiting for Lemon to actually get there.
Oh, definitely wasted the shield for Bunny on that one. Meteos not in range, just off of level 6 as well. He's still got to soak up at least a camp in a few waves here.
So the High and Meteos weren't in position because they wanted to wait a little bit for that gank, but the gank from Lemon was forced because Bunny Fufu went to ward. So good job there by Bunny Fufu, actually. Good timing to make sure that 3-man attack up top was unsuccessful.
Everybody backing right now. Wouldn't be surprised to see if the swap happened again. See what Sneaky goes. He's actually going to go to the top lane, yes, this time. And Lemon Nation's going to hold mid for now.
So they do cancel the swap here. Now I have to say, the reason I thought that was a half-hearted gank from Meteos, on Evelynn, you can get into a much better position than coming through lane and going straight at somebody if you want to, because she is invisible and there are no pink wards up top. So if they really wanted to make that happen, you can get all the way around and come from behind them. However, if you're coming from behind them, you are definitely committing fully to them. However, if you're coming from behind them, you are definitely committing fully to that attack, and you had better bring enough friends so that you actually win the fight.
Lemon Nation's first back is that Frost Fang and a pink ward for himself. He's going to keep good vision on the top side of the map. They actually already have a deep pink ward by their own Wraiths. It's actually in the Wraith Brush. It's High taking some damage here in the mid
chain
lane.
Misses onto a minion. Good little juke there. He did get the mimicked chain, but didn't get the first one.
Formulating something in mid now. Cloud9 trying to do a pincer maneuver. Looks like they won't be able to get a Dark Binding from Lemon, but still their movement really hasn't given Curse anything to work with. They're always on the back foot.
And here comes the invade from Meteos, making his way into Dominate's jungle. Starts up the counter jungling. All this roaming from Lemon is really keeping Curse off tilt here.
Yeah.
They're unsure of where Meteos is the whole time. So even though it's just a Morgana roaming around, they have to respect it like it's a Morgana plus Evelynn.
Boy getting his blue buff. You can see on his first back. 45 to 41 CS gets the Moby boots.
That red spawned. It looks like it could be a pretty easy steal for Meteos. It is spawned. Got the ward down in time. Strong counter jungling continued from him, and they also have great defensive wards for Cloud9, so they're definitely winning that vision game as usual. pretty much their MO. The only thing they have to really worry about here. As Evelyn, very dangerous to gank someone like LeBlanc, because this early in the game, Evelyn is a very squishy champion. She's an assassin. She doesn't want to take any burst.
Boy, looking for that mobility boots, Rome. He is sprinting right now, and they may be able to get a kill here down onto balls. That is for sure going to be a lockdown kill. Quaz almost gets it himself solo, but allows Void Boy a little bit.
I'm pretty sure Meteos saw him walking down there, though, right? Was that just miscommunication?
No, he cruised out of there.
He might have been
chase or what.
Yeah, he might have been just out of vision because he's moving so fast with those Moby boots. Kill does pay off, so Moby boots investment from Void Boy here.
Oh! Very much an investment, and return on investment is going to be coming in.
Beautiful.
A few more here. He's got the heals, though, and he's got Meteos just on the backside.
No barrier.
Agony's Embrace goes down high, very low, but Void Boy cannot put himself in the spot he needs to. Yes, he can. Back and forth, the double kill coming in for High as he still goes down in the end.
Yeah, High was holding on to that barrier the whole time, trying to bait him in, and they do end up getting the 2-4-1, so big win for Cloud9 there. Even though Curse line up their CCs really well, they land the chain, and just as chain's about to wear off, Cocoon from Dominate comes in, but Meteos is able to get there in time.
I hear just thinking, wait, weren't you in the bottom lane?
Yeah, this is the frustrating thing about playing against Soraka. As a jungler, you always have to be worried about the turnaround because she's great in 2-versus-2 situations. And you know, he thought the burst was going to come from Elise when Elise was back down to execute, so that's why he used it early. But, you know, there's pretty much no escape because LeBlanc can follow it up either way. Still a very big win for Cloud9.
What a crazy game, putting the focus on a lot of different champions. We just saw it was really sneaky in the mid lane, getting all the pressure. Now that we swapped out, it's been High now the focal point along with Void Boy. Meteos trying to come in again, dominate with Void Boy trying to tilt this mid lane. Level 8 and 6. They might have enough here to finish it off. One last step, but it's too far into the turret for both of them to go.
And High is actually leveling his heal second. So he's leveling, maxing Starcall first, as normal. And he's leveling his heal second, so extra sustain there. The silence is still just level 1 for him.
A little slice and dice out.
Got the ward, worth it.
Actually threw down his ultimate on that one. Thought Balls was going to go for the full fight. So Quas here now left to just kind of farm it up. His teleport's down, so he's not going anywhere too soon. His Balls trying to put the aggression on and bully him out and off the CS.
It looks like Quas will be going with the offensive build first too, because starting with the Vamp Scepter into another long sword here. And same thing from Balls, you know. I mean, he needs the extra sustain because Trundle will definitely out-sustain him. Uh-oh.
Ooh. Silence versus Silence, and it's Void Boy that gets his off first. Getting a little duplication on, but he will be safe on this one. They pretty much trade the same amount of health left in that engagement, and you can see, once again, both junglers right in the back pocket of the mid lane. Right,
mid lane's going to be constantly fighting, so both junglers need to be in or around this area. That means they're going to be farming Wraiths, and they're going to be farming Wolves. Just playing with fire.
Nice sidestep there. Looks like he's going to force out the repel. Both junglers well off on that one. Well, they do get the ward clear out. Meteos gains a little bit of vision.
But he didn't check the second one. Oh, Meteos always walks by this small bush. I have to say, especially as Evelyn, he's done it multiple times. He never checks that little bush. So if you're playing against Cloud9, take note, because that's a great bush to put your team boards in. Meteos does not check it very often.
See how this lane 107 to 103. Quaz actually keeping faring very well against Balls here, not getting too much attention since they're in the bottom lane, which is odd. We really haven't seen too much dragon pressure either. A lot of different rotation coming out here in week 10.
Now,
Meteos now to the bottom.
The Trundle ult is already back up, so that's a dangerous dive to go for.
Especially if Balls dominate.
They are going to go first. For it, though. All right.
He throws it on. That's the subjugate that Quas wanted, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. Agony's Embrace, that little bit of percentage damage.
Maybe not so dangerous.
Flash it out with that red buff on, and a lot of the damage coming out of Balls' dominance. They were able to just take it down easy peasy, and they should be able to get good damage onto this turret.
It's so interesting how Meteos pretty much always ganks Balls' lane successfully for the kills here. He spent some time with High trying to counter game, but pretty much every game at some point he's going to dive a turret with Balls Renekton. And that's why they always love getting Renekton for Balls, because he's going to shove it in, he's going to get that advantage, and they will eventually come for that turret dive.
So it's Dragon instead of mid, and now they're going to be forced into this fight, but Cloud9 wants it. Dominate very low, repels out. Where will he be dropping? It's right back in the middle of the fight. Meteos can't get the hate spike off, though. Good damage coming in from Cop and the rest of the team, but Quas, the frontline meat shield, is the one who is able to push it forward. He actually turns the corner. They want to take down High right now, but they're not able to with his heal, and they're kind of just going to have to deal with the 1 kill.
All right, now they also have control over mid lane here. Can they make it happen? Soraka still able to sustain a little bit.
Very low HP here on both sides. One quick grab could be the death of somebody. Dashing out, no damage coming in from Bunny Fufu there. His Cop getting a little bit of heal on with his potions. Whoa. And that Bloodthirster.
Yeah, High, blinking red right now. He still heals Sneaky instead. And he's going to go back to base instead.
Calculated.
Exactly. Gives him up to mana too, so full health and half mana AD carry for the mid lane defense. Cloud9 actually saved their mid turret after the old dragon. Pretty good objective control from them. They don't have to give up anything in answer for that little move.
So if any, what kind of setback would you kind of be looking at with a mobility boots buy if Voyboy didn't get a ton of kills to kind of return that?
Yeah, well, it's obviously the spell penetration that's going to hurt you.
Yeah.
Because that's what the other buy that you would grab. However, I like the buy because he got the kill down bottom and he was able to make it back up top. Roaming has been fairly important this game. However, remember how many times that High gets away with extremely low HP, because that magic penetration is going to come back to haunt you if you don't have it.
Very good point. We have seen that happen about 2 or 3 times, twice just recently in that mid lane. He's waiting here for High to grab this. Those star calls are going to be coming out quite hard for High. Right now they're going to be hitting for about 256 damage every time, and that shreds your magic resist. So yeah, it's not feeling too good.
Yeah, that stacks up pretty quickly. Extended fights are definitely her forte. A lot of resources up top. My goodness. Yeah. Curse are really, really counting on a dive up here. It's not going to happen though. So 4 people doing nothing for Curse.
They want to share. Sharing is caring.
Soraka can take a turret in that time.
Well, she's crazy at pushing turrets. Bananas.
Bananas.
Stale bananas, +1 to turret damage.
Those are celestial bananas.
Whoops.
No, he wanted to save the minions. High's,
the turret mind games.
See? Minions still live.
Curse trying to regroup. They leave just Quas in the top lane this time, and it looks like the rest of them spread out towards the bottom. It's going to be Dominate to farm that out on the golems. Hopefully Cop will get there to push some of that lane. It's already quite big. Balls and Quas, toe-to-toe in the top lane, a quick slice with no dice.
Interesting little conga line from Cloud9 heading up top.
Right through the river.
A little bit spread out, but I do like the move since they already got bottom turret and Dragon's not coming up for a bit. They have time to make this move with everybody towards the top side.
Just a few shots. Sneaky's not going to put himself in that scary position again. He leaves that up to Balls in the top. And again, Curse decides to rotate over as C9 leaves the top lane.
And again, they're not getting anything really done here. Moby Boots, you know, he's walking around fast a lot, but once he gets somewhere, he just turns around and runs again. So he's getting some exercise, but not a lot of gold. And Cloud9 are really running away with it. You got to keep your eyes.
Well, Cloud9 is quite a security kit system set up that is now being cleared out. But when you know where the opponents are coming from 5 miles away, you're definitely not going to meet them unless you want it under your own circumstances.
Yeah, let's see if they actually commit when Meteos shows bottom, because it's
yeah.
Pretty much the reason everybody's playing hesitantly is because they're going against a Evelynn, and you always have to be worried about it, where she is. Now that he's showing bottom, Cloud9's hand is finally on the table here. It's pretty much up to Curse to actually make the move now.
And the last turret up works for them as well. They get to go towards the teleport.
Oh, can he sneak attack?
It's a high. Not too much
just
there.
Just a little bit of poke action.
Quick spell shield, but even without ward vision on that area, they know where Curse is now just because of that attack. So Cloud9 still pretty.
Now they go for it. Oh, he misses
a little
chain,
too soon.
Oh.
Didn't get the slice.
Chain number 2.
Doesn't need the dice.
No chain number 2.
Very back and forth. These should be kills coming in right now for Curse. Missing little ones like this. Time that they are wasting across the map, and now Cloud9's able to regroup for that with the push in the bottom lane, and they're spreading Curse thin.
Yeah, Cloud9 extremely happy with the way this is going. couple of unnecessary rotations, I think, from Curse. And now Lemon goes aggressive.
Just gets out of turret range, but the Soul Shackle is going to be enough for the consecutive lockdown. Cloud9 playing this one very strong. Sneaky not going to try to get any passive movement speed off of that one. He may have to help, though. He does get one shot off. He still gets a bit of that movement speed, and it looks like High could be going down. Finally, they get it in the end of that fight, but it comes and goes over to Bunny Fufu. So he gets a bit of shutdown gold there, not really who they wanted.
Lemon leading the charge here. Ball's coming in from the bottom side, but it looks like Voyboy can escape. Moby Boots make for a quick exit.
Moby Boots, indeed. It's like you said, allowed Curse to get all over the map and where they need to be, but they haven't taken any turrets. It's still a shutout in that.
It was pretty much an investment though to try and get their poke pick comp ahead early, because they need to be ahead to be able to set up for all of these skill shots that they need to land, the cocoons and all the poke from LeBlanc and Karma. But because they didn't get ahead early, it's really going to hurt them. That mobility boost was supposed to be a jump start for the team, but actually they're trying to climb out of a hole, so they really haven't been able to make use of it, and they're just going to keep bleeding objectives here. It's very hard for them to actually siege up and make use of all these skill shot pokes.
Cloud9 has the means to just get around the outside, take him out when Meteos really wants the engagement. He and Balls have been coming in from the side, doing quite a bit of damage. So far, really only the disengage from Curse is what they've been able to come up with. 6,000 gold in the lead for Cloud9. Lonely looks like it's going to get more. They've gotten Dragons in their favor. Top turret will probably be a push mid for them.
So they're going to give up the outer and go for the inner turret here. Cloud9 running down the mid lane. This 4-man squad from Curse can actually do a pretty decent job up top because they're such a poke-heavy comp. Yeah, there you go.
That's the team.
That's the pick poke, but they don't have their Caitlyn. So Caitlyn down here, pretty much Cop is just trying to survive.
Nice try by Cop. They trade turrets on that second tier, so that is going to work very nicely. Without having any turrets, Curse picks up 2, so they get a bit of a surge in gold for everybody that was surrounding those turrets as well. That assist gold coming in, and now maybe even an inhibitor turret here. This was not what Cloud9 got off the push.
Oh, looks like Quas is going to be able to do it.
Soul Shackle's not really going to give them, or they're not going to pay no mind to it.
The speed from Karma, they know that they need to get out here. Speed's already been used, waiting for the cooldown to come up again, and High gets into position.
Only going to be a silence. Too bad there's not a Rylai's Crystal on that Soraka. They would definitely be able to catch up. Bunny Fufu's going to keep himself in there, though, instead of providing that shield for the rest of the team. This could be really bad. Meteos is going to be caught up. No red buff onto Dominate, though. He looks like he should be able to grab this kill. The repel is used to get over the wall. The pillar from the Baron Pit from Quaz. They may turn this one around onto Meteos. The shots come in. The Hex Drinker to keep him alive, and he flashes the wall to stay alive. The binding was dodged out by Cop in the 90 caliber net, and now it's a chase onto Curse. Once again, they thought I had it turned around, but not for too long. It's Cloud9 doing what they do best, regrouping and causing chaos, forcing the flash onto Quaz. They may have stopped the tunnel here, and they'll be going down mid.
Yeah, Voyboy does not have a lot of damage. Once they catch Meteos, you cannot burst him down with the Athenes and mobility boots. Flash start, not a lot of AP there, and he can't kill anyone, even though they're able to get a pretty good combo here onto him. Silence and everything. Cocoon misses. I mean, it actually wouldn't have added any damage, and it would have stacked with the chain, so the Cocoon missing wasn't the biggest of deals. But the old
big old wish from Soraka.
Light Slinger from Sneaky was a pretty big deal.
Yep. High coming in big on that one. He picks up a Rylai's. Very nice. So they are going to be able to get all the fights that they want. 9-5 are the kills, and they spread that gold again. Well, I guess it's still around 6,000 as Curse tries to creep back. Top turret's going to be going down, and this is more just the Cloud9 is working off of right now. 4 turrets in their favor, but Curse just picked up 3 after having none.
So that was, yeah, and it was such a good rotation from Curse. Like, that was pretty much their best move this entire game, was getting that inhibitor turret down, and then sacrificing Bunny Fufu for it would have been completely worth it. But since, you know, Dominate also got caught, he got hit by that binding and wasn't able to get away, had to use his repel to try and get away from Meteos, and then they turn around. It actually ended up costing them in the end, so they aren't able to make anything out of that.
It's the name of the game recently. You got to kite and fight. Whoever can do that better usually comes out on top, no matter what ultimates are used first. Bit of damage onto Bunny Fufu is Sneaky, making sure that nobody's in range to get him. He's trying to stay on the front line and get as much turret damage as possible.
Oh, man.
Actually, yeah, he does have the Triforce finish. I was looking over at Cop side, so the turret damage is there for him. They just need to get to it.
High has such a lead on Voyboy here, comparing a combat effectiveness. He spent a lot of money on those mobility boots and does not have a lot of power with the LeBlanc. So pretty much the Soraka is going to be in the middle of your team. Constant Starfall damage, Starcall damage, plus all the heals that she can bring. He did actually max that W second, so not only will it beat the ulti heal, but he's also got very strong single target. It's going to be very annoying for Curse to play against in full team fights. So I wonder if they even do try and group up, or if they want to make use of some sort of split pushing troll there with Quas down bottom.
It's going to be tough for Curse overall, as you were saying. We don't see Voyboy even really trying to pick up the Deathfire Grasp here. Maybe just be the pieces of a Void Staff right now for a bit of extra damage on what he doesn't have in penetration boots.
Yeah.
Definitely a lack of power there. We'll have to see if they can get the pick they need. There has not really been a Ward Wars fight this game. It's been Cloud9 kind of dictating what turret to fight under so far. And right now it looks like it's going to be the big turret. It's going to be Baron.
They've got just supreme ward coverage over this entire area. It's just easy Baron for them. Even though Quas has his teleport up, Curse have no idea. They're so late to the party here. Oh, wow, Cloud9 stop it. That was all they needed, was a ward inside.
Oh.
That's so lucky for Curse.
Quas teleporting in. He'd be in the fight, but it doesn't look like they're going to use anything on this one. They just placed the wards
wow,
to get there.
It was really low. They're so scared of Dominate's Baron steals, as they should be. Dominate has stolen multiple Barons this season.
True story.
And he's on Elise.
Meteos giving that huge respect along with the rest of Cloud9. They will back off. The culling's been used there. We see the mantra from Karma come out. Bunny Fufu speeding up the team. Cloud9 looks like they may be able to get out of this fight, and they sink their teeth in immediately. Voyboy tries to distortion away, but he gets hit up by the stale banana. High takes him down. Quas is going to be trying to run out. Subjugate's already been used, but he can't use it offensively, and the rest of the team gets out bleeding.
Dominate's still alive here, crawling away. It looks like the rest of Cloud9 won't give up the chase.
Sneaky's got a broom. Look out, Dominate! Oh, he misses it! Woo!
All right,
watch out.
Dominate gets out alive, but that's going to be a Baron for sure for Cloud9 now. Looks like they aren't trying to give it away for free, though. I like the little answer. The only thing is they have to be careful about High coming in from the back, because he has Rylai's.
This is going to be great for them to get Dragon. If they can get mid-turret, that Rylai's, there it is. This is going to be some big damage. He got the shield and the speed. Oh, he tried to dodge it, but he walked into it from the other side. Definitely going down here.
Bunny, give him up.
Yes, Bunny, you need to run out of this one. Quas is there too. They now have, they can see wherever this goes. So Cloud9 can make any move off the ball here as they're chasing Curse.
Curse were getting a lot of answer, back for that Baron. They got the Dragon, they were getting mid-turret damage, but you have to be careful. As I said, the Soraka coming in with Rylai's, Cop does get tagged by it, and then a beautiful binding from Lemon Nation over the wall to secure a kill. They're able to answer back, and gold sort of comparable for the Baron and the Dragon. Not quite, but it's a little something there for Curse. They need every little bit they can get to stay in this game.
See if they can do what they need to. Right now, Curse has been getting the game back in their favor, even though they are still down about 5,000 gold. Remember, we just said a few minutes ago they had 0 turrets. Now they have more turrets than Cloud9 and an open inhibitor on that side. They have huge advantages if they can win a team fight, but that's the big if right there. Cloud9, that's where they excel. Cloud9 has been excelling at that game.
The only way I see Curse winning a team fight is getting a really good cocoon and followed up poke damage, and then they wait out while Cloud9 regroup, and then they get another one. They're going to have to get probably multiple picks for it to actually work out. Either that, or if you cocoon somebody and then pillar off the rest of the team, they might be able to finish him, because Voyboy has actually finished that Void Staff, so even though he doesn't have a lot of raw AP, he's got penetration.
Yeah. Still going to hurt a little bit with that amplified. But can he get in? Not having the Deathfire grasp is really something he would like. Balls, throws on Dominus, goes right for Cop. The 80 carry on the back line, and they may have gotten a little too in their own heads on this one. Curse disengages, they get the kite and fight, and now they will initiate back on. Cop on the backside, just firing off every shot that he can. Sneaky turns around for a quick one too. Quaz is now in danger of that same death, but it's going to be from Meteos. He puts on the red buff. It's not going to hit. That was the burn from Lizard.
Yeah, Balls and Lemon Nation, they didn't want to give Curse any time to do poke damage, so they jump right in, and they scare him right off the turret. But because Curse chased too close to Soraka, long, drawn-out fights are what Soraka loves. So after you get a kill versus Cloud9 team, should let it go. Wow.
Waka, waka, waka. Jokes coming out of Sneaky. He almost takes down Void Boy in just a few shots. Baron buff is definitely not something to be played with, especially when you have three of the most blood-hungry people on the team. As we said, last year we may not have said that about Sneaky, but this season...
He's 5-0
yeah.
this game. And he has the most kills on the team. He's doing a great job this time around. He had to play some solo as well.
Yeah, right.
Roaming a lot. This is a great collapse there from Curse. So the reason that Balls went down so fast, by the way, of course, is that Trundle. Always got to remember the shred. But now, this is the ill-advised chase on a Soraka team. She thrives in these drawn-out fights.
Yeah.
And they just go a little bit too close there. All the damage was still up. The only ones that they killed were the Renekton and the Morgana, so still have to worry about all that damage there. And Sneaky catching them off guard with the burst from Trinity Force.
You got to consider that's 345 damage coming out of Star Call every 1.5 seconds. And then it's going to do more because it's shredding your magic resistance. So like you said, these elongated fights are just putting a big smile on High's face. Cloud9 finally going down towards that bottom lane with the map objective free in forms of Baron and Dragon. It looks like they're going to get what they want to. No rotation here from Curse yet. They
should be making their way down here, though. So these outer ones are really hard to defend because you're going to force yourselves to group up for Soraka, and it'll be pretty easy for High to get off some multiple person star calls. As I said, he's a big fan of those purple minions. He wants to save as many as he can.
Ooh, Meteos going Metal Gear.
He's looking for the flank here. He wants to come in from the backside.
We'll see.
And we've already seen Cloud9 are not afraid to dive. So while they have the option of waiting for somebody to go clear that mid creep line, they actually don't need to.
The approaching enemy. They see him on a Cop. That's going to be the Agony's Embrace going down. No, Meteos holds the Agony's Embrace until they pile up. Cloud9 comes into this fight with the right idea, but Curse now trying to kite it out. Quaz doing what he can, putting himself in the front, but it's not going to be enough as Cloud9 continues to micro themselves in and out, not allowing Curse to focus one person at all.
They're not even going for the inhibitor, straight trying to end the game here. Nexus starts for Cloud9.
I don't know when the last time we saw a straight down the mid victory was, but Cloud9's going to try to do it here. 4 straight matches against Curse over the season, 32 minutes on this one, and a 15-8 score gives Cloud9 the win.
My favorite part about watching the Cloud9 games is that they don't waste any time once they get their lead.
Right.
You know the game is going to end.
Really great play coming out of Curse. I like the pickup from Bunny Fufu onto Karma. They utilized it. They had a point in that game where they took 5 straight turrets and overthrew Cloud9. They didn't get the gold lead, though. They didn't get map pressure with those 5 turrets. They just started getting back into the game. And back into the game against Cloud9 means it's already too far gone.
Level 1 team fight.
Oh my, level 1 5v5.
Cloud9 destroy with the Soraka.
That was crazy. Every game today has just been pretty much off the wall. Awesome fights, awesome #LCS big plays, and Cloud9 doing what they can now to bring themselves 19-4 here in week 10.
Yeah, the big play has got to be that Dexter Lee Sin kick to win CLG.
Dexter Lee Sin kick, Thresh Lantern. Can't forget the long ride Thresh Lantern on the Dragon's Descent. Like I said, crazy stuff.
Those are pretty fun to watch.
Very fun indeed. So Cloud9 coming out with a very strong win there. Curse, there were a few moments in that game. You were talking about it a little bit. 4-man rotation to the top to gain nothing. And then actually 3 minutes later, they did it again. But the second time, Cloud9 realized that they were in the mind of Curse, and they'll say, well, we'll just make it happen and rotate people back and forth. And that's all it took.
The other thing that we get to see is that, yes, everybody knows, Cloud9's going to have these strong early game lanes that are going to be shoving. Meteos never had to deal with wards inside his jungle early game. He's Evelyn. Everybody wants to get those wards inside the camps of Evelyn's jungle so they know where she is. Curse never got the opportunity to go in there. They never got really deep wards there. They had trouble keeping track of that Evelyn. And with Lemon Nation roaming just as much as Meteos was, they could not keep up.
And they made sure to make this game hard for the top players of Curse. Voyboy was actually the first one to lose on LeBlanc in his try in NA after so many wins. And then again, they know it's not a super comfort pick for him. Obviously, LeBlanc can carry a game, but if you go at that person and know it's not their strongest, it becomes even harder to play that champion.
Yeah, so he tried to tweak it. And he tried to go with super early game. I'm going to get mobility boosts, make roaming plays, get everybody ahead here. He got a first kill, but a couple of times he didn't have the damage to back it up after that, and it makes it hard to come back when you go that route. And
especially when you see those kills walk away with one each time, because the next time you want to go in harder, you end up putting yourself in a bad spot.
I was waiting for Soraka to come out in the LCS because all the players, the LCS players, keep talking about how strong it is, but they never pull the trigger and actually use her in the LCS games. Now we got to see it. Very strong, shoving lane early, great in the level 1 team fights.
Yeah.
Hard to take down late game, too.
Also, we have to consider what would have happened in this game if, what do we see it in Europe when they kept swapping back and forth over and over again in the lanes? What would have happened if Curse decided to do that? Yeah, they would have lost a little CS in lane, but they might have gotten the matchups they wanted instead of the 2v1 versus Voyboy right off the bat, which allowed Lemon Nation to roam top and roam bottom and roam top. Yeah. And just so much map pressure from Lemon right off the bat on Morgana.
Yeah, the start of the game was definitely all Cloud9, and a lot of it was due to the way that the level 1 played out. They had so many people up top on the top side of the map, Cloud9, because they went for that invade, that it's kind of, they're always like, oh, well, we're close to top. We'll have our ADN support up top here. They eventually switch it back for high on Soraka.
Yeah,
going there too.
And then they set Sneaky up.
After he hits his point that he can sustain well, and he's the lane bully. And then they use high to draw all the attention to the mid lane. Meteos is just hovering around there. Yep. There's like maybe 3 or 4 ganks in a row where both junglers go mid, and Soraka keeps coming out ahead in these 2v2 situations because, using the barrier as a bait and then also just waiting for that star call damage to stack up allows Meteos hate spikes to do more damage.
Yep.
Really helps out. The early game Evelyn already does crazy damage, but with the Star Call debuff, it's got ridiculous.
Dominate having a little bit of trouble in the jungle again as well. Has blue buff stolen at level 1. Obviously going to slow him down, and then how are you going to help a 2v1 mid lane, especially when you're behind? So a lot of different things. You saw Meteos trying the level 2 gank Eve bottom. He just kind of rushed into that.
Oh, yeah. That was a bad one.
Wasn't really able to get the gank down. Quas almost turned that around. Quas actually had quite a good game. You can tell that Trundle is one of his top champions that he likes to play.
That was one thing from the early game where I think Trundle got down there first. So he had like this, he was shoving the wave, so he got the level advantage. And he sort of started building up his CS early, and it took a while for balls on Renekton to get to that point where he's bullying him up under the turret, and they go for the classic Cloud9 turret dive with balls Renekton.
And we got to remember now that with everything that's happened today, we have a tie for first. It's going to be pretty good between Cloud9 and Team Solo Mid, 2 teams that everybody obviously wants to see go at it again because of what's happened in the past few times. And it's just probably going to be an amazing game from what we've seen now. I think the early game of 4.4 has definitely given us a little more spice in the early game. So to see what Cloud9, Lemon Nation come up with, and really I guess it would be special on the other side for that early game on TSM. It's going to be intense because both of those guys are going for hook champions in the beginning, or Leona, or the Annie stun early. I like it.
Yeah, that's definitely one to look forward to. It's kind of like a preview because those are the top 2 teams.
Right.
That are battling really hard to get to the top place in playoffs, to go to All-Stars. Everybody wants to be able to go to All-Stars and fight the best around the world.
All right, 4 more matches down, everyone. Let's see how the teams stack up after today, I guess, not the weekend yet. Starting with a tie for first between Cloud9 and Team Solo Mid. The first time that TSM has had to share the top spot since week 1.
And look, Cloud9 are on top due to the alphabet. So that's too bad for TSM. But they are followed by CLG in 3rd place. And in 4th place is Dignitas with 10 wins and 13 losses.
And Curse is 1 game back in 5th place with in 6th. Is Team Coast, who snapped their 6-game losing streak today.
And tied for last, it's Evil Geniuses and XDG Gaming.
We will be back again tomorrow at noon Pacific, 9 p.m. Central European Time with 4 more games. That's going to be starting with Counter Logic Gaming taking on XDG.
Then Curse faces off against Team Solo Mid, followed by Cloud9 and High taking on Golden Glue and Dignitas.
Then we will wrap up our